My life didn't change as much as I thought it would. Just because I was a millionaire, just because I was, quote, rich or retired, I still had stress. Once that happened, the first thing I did was I planned to live in Hawaii on the beach, sipping Mai Tais and playing video games. When I got there, I just felt this huge sense of depression and hopelessness. Ever since I first started working, I basically had the dream of retiring young and being free. And to be honest with you, the big reason why I had this dream, what I wanted to do, I wanted to literally just play video games all day. Now, obviously things have changed in my mind and the way I look at the world, but the problem was that I didn't know how to get rich. I was lucky enough to get a really high-paying job when I was a young software developer. This was at the .com craze around 2001. I moved from Boise, Idaho to Santa Monica, California with this crazy $75 an hour job when I was 19 years old. That didn't make me rich. I was making over $150,000 a year at that point. Even doing that, even making that much money, I started to do the math on it, right? So I started to calculate and I said, if I save $100,000 a year, if I somehow live off of $50,000, in 10 years, I'll have $1 million and I'll be a millionaire. That's kind of crazy. I have to keep this job, sleep on a mattress on the floor, basically live like a poor person in Santa Monica for 10 years, keeping this job that rightfully I probably didn't deserve because I was pretty young and inexperienced at that time. And then I will only be a millionaire and that won't be rich. Not by any means. I had forgotten inflation when I first did this, and I thought, wow, that's crazy. There's no way. That doesn't even make sense. How are people getting rich? How can you possibly get rich? And for those of you that have a job and you're making a lot of money and you're investing in the stock market or your 401k and you think you're going to get rich and retire young, it ain't going to happen. Definitely read this book, okay? If you think you're going to get rich from your job, it's not going to happen. I needed a different plan. I started researching people who made money in America. I wanted to see how did the rich get rich in America so that I could do the same thing, because clearly it was not going to be from a job. One of the people who came up and one of the people I studied was Donald Trump. Okay, now remember, guys, this was 20 years ago. Regardless whether you like Donald Trump or not, it doesn't matter. As I did the research, I found real estate was the thing. I came up with a plan to buy one property every year until I was retired. The second thing that I did, which was really critical, was starting a business and doing courses for a big online developer company that taught developers how to learn programming topics and things like that. I actually became the most successful author on their platform, authoring 55 courses on their platform. I got some big ass royalty checks from that. I also published a book and I had my business income coming in. So I had a bunch of income coming in. I had a pretty good job at the time when I was starting all this. If I had to define it, I'd say it's the two things, right? It's the one, the real estate investments, and the second, the business income coming in. I got to the point where I had enough positive cash flow coming in that I basically went to my boss and I told him, I was like, I'm quitting. He was shocked. He was like, we had this conversation over Skype because I was working remotely. And I was like, look, I'm just going to be level with you. And I gave him my number. Like, look, this is how much money I'm making. Like, you're paying me, I think at the time I was making maybe $120,000 as a full-time employee with benefits and everything like that. My one royalty check, right, that I got is basically like a fourth of the income that you're paying me. I was getting royalty checks around like $40,000 or $50,000. I was like, I got this real estate income that's coming in like a few $1,000s a month. I think $5,000 a month was the point at that time. And I was like, I just don't need to work and it doesn't make any sense. And what I really need to do is work on the business stuff more and focus on that. Technically, I was free. Basically, once that happened, the first thing I did was I planned to live in Hawaii on the beach, sipping Mai Tais and playing video games. I rented out this property, this really nice property right next to the ocean in Maui. And the funny thing is, when I got there, I just felt this huge sense of depression and hopelessness. Imagine, remember, since I was 19, I was planning this out. Okay, and here I was 33. It felt like it should have been more. It felt like, there should have been some fireworks or some party or something. Like I should have been happy and I wasn't happy. And it was really disturbing. Is this all there is out of life? Because that was my main goal in life. And, it was really a hallowing experience. I can't even tell you what you go through and what you feel when you achieve something like that. I had achieved my goal, so why did I feel this way? I started listening to an audiobook called The Obstacle is the Way. I started reading that book, all right? And that book introduced me to Stoic philosophy. That sort of changed my outlook. I started to realize, I started to make this shift, this transformation, okay? This was sort of the beginning of the forming of the Bulldog mindset. All these external events and things that I'm shooting for and these goals and stuff, that's not really what matters. What matters is here. How strong am I? How tough am I? Who have I become in this journey? I ended up going back and getting back to work. I always wanted to relax and just be able to do whatever I wanted. but I found that it was boring. Imagine having the time to be able to do whatever you want. At first it seems great, okay? But after some time of just indulging and playing video games and stuff, you feel like you have no purpose, you have no meaning. There's nothing that you're really striving for, and there's nothing to shoot for, and that's what really drives us in life. And I didn't realize that, and no one could have convinced me until I experienced it, but hopefully what you can learn from my story will help you. At first I thought that was a problem, I need to fix it. And I spent many years, actually, if you've listened to my Entre Programmers podcast, me going through this phase of trying to get out of the businesses and trying to finally just retire, and I didn't want to leave behind the empire. And then I would get depressed, and then I would lose my motivation, and then I'd get back into it. And then what I realized, probably within the last 2 years, was that this is what I thrive for. That's why I started running these marathons, and now I'm going to run an ultra marathon. Is because I actually thrive and live for this stuff. How does it apply to you? Because maybe you think you're never going to retire. Maybe this is just a psychological problem that John has. I could just retire and just play video games all day. I'd be happy. I'd just be happy to be free. It's not about the goal.
It's the journey, or it's the path to get there.
And that's what I learned. That's the biggest lesson I learned. It's about who you become. You should create your goals in mind with who you want to become. Don't create your goals based on what you want to get. Instead, create your goals based on who you want to become. This is a test of your manhood. How much is there left in you after you've lost everything outside yourself? And this is by Orison Swett Marden. It's not about what you have, because you could lose everything. Believe me, even myself, right? As the things happen with the stock market and the whole thing that's been going on recently in the world, I've realized that I could lose it all. It's possible. And you could lose your health, you could lose all kinds of things. But who you are, who you've become, that you can't lose, and that's the only valuable thing. My life didn't change as much as I thought it would. Just because I was a millionaire, just because I was, quote, rich or retired, I still had stress. I had more money, I had more problems, okay? I had more stress in my life, because now you have to try and preserve that wealth, and now you have more things to lose, okay? The more you have to lose, the more stress that you have. The rat race is never done. Like, you can get out of the rat race, but you're in another race. You have to embrace the race. People are trying to escape the thing, and you're trying to escape life. You can't escape life. Life is a series of challenges. It's always going to be a struggle. It's always going to be hard. You have to really embrace life at the level of challenges and difficulties that it is, okay? And not expect that it's going to change. You have to let go of the idea of stopping and putting your life on pause. Start living it now. When I was trying to retire young, one of the things I was doing was I was always living for the next day. I was always living for someday when I achieve this goal. And you may have caught yourself doing that. Someday when I reach this level, get this promotion, lose this body fat, whatever it is, and you're not actually living your life today. And it's crazy. Even recording this video right now, I have to consciously will myself. I have to say, you know what? Don't say when you're done with your work for today. Instead, be like, this is awesome. Like, you're recording a video. I'm living my life right now. I'm here. I'm talking to you. That we have this communion together. It's a good thing. Struggle and challenge in life is what makes life worth living. It's the actual thing that makes life worth living. It's good. It's good that life is challenging. It's good that you have these challenges and obstacles. You don't want to just live life on easy mode. What I was trying to do when I was trying to retire young is I just wanted to live life on easy mode. I just wanted to get all the money, not have to worry about anything ever again, and just be able to do whatever I want, but that will lead you to depression. There's no such thing as truly retiring. I don't have to work another day in my life. And maybe someday I won't, but I'm always going to be challenging myself and pushing myself, and I'm never going to really retire. Financial independence is actually pretty awesome. I told you about the bad things, but let me tell you about the good things. I got to travel the world. I've been to China, I've been to Italy, I've been to France, I've been to Sweden and Denmark, London and Spain, and all over the place. I couldn't do that if I wasn't financially independent. If I had to work a regular job, I could do like a week here or 2 weeks here, but I did 3 months block. I don't have to care about money. I can take care of the people I love. My mom has Parkinson's, okay? I love my mom a lot. My dad is trying to take care of her, okay? It is so hard to take care of someone with Parkinson's. I am able to hire people, full-time people, to take care of her, to help my dad, 2 full-time people. I spend some money on that, and I can do that because I was able to achieve this financial independence. I don't know what they would do had I not gone down this path in life. I create Bulldog Mindset because it's my passion. It's my purpose. It's what I want to do. I want to teach you how to live a better life than I. When I had to work for someone else, when I had to worry about the paycheck, I couldn't do that, and now I can present to you exactly what I want.